and then we'll get started with the training. All right, Heavenly Father, thank you so much for this opportunity to spend some time with some other families that are also excited and passionate about homeschooling. Lord, I just pray that this time would be equipping and would be effective and productive, Lord, so that we can reach more people with the message of homeschooling, and in turn, hopefully help turn our country around, and just with more families that are spending more time together and learning together and growing together, Lord. Again, thank you for this opportunity, and let us be productive, Lord. We ask all these things in your most precious name, Lord, in Jesus' name, amen. Okay, awesome. So some admin notes here. The question thing, you all can put your comments in, that kind of thing. I will not pull that up until the very end to answer any questions. So the quick agenda is going to be, I'm going to run through the website, and I'm going to use the website as our actual. I don't have a slideshow for the presentation. I'm going to use the actual website itself to go through it, to get you all familiar with it if you have not had time to go through it yet. And then we're going to spend some time on the actual homeschool information meeting presentation. And I'm going to kind of run through it very quickly, so I'm not going to go through like a full speed. I'm going to go through quickly to give you an overview of kind of how the presentation should flow if you choose to use it. And then I'm going to leave some time for any questions at the end as well. So maybe 10, 15 minutes, hopefully 10 or 15 minutes at the end for questions. So if I don't answer questions right away, again, just know that I will pull those up at the end to answer any questions that you all may have. Okay. So let me. Okay. All right. So okay. So here's the website. Hopefully you all can see the website. In fact, let me just make sure that you can see the website. Okay, all right. So, yeah. So, can you all see the website? If you all can let me know if you can see the website. I just want to make sure. Okay, great. Okay, super. Thank you. Sorry, guys. Awesome. Okay, awesome. All right. So. This is the main screen here, the main homepage here, and the Homeschool Now USA. Let me give you the kind of some big picture here. So the background, Robert Bortons, who is the CEO of Classical Conversations, he and a number of other homeschool leaders, across the country, kind of had a vision for wanting to create a unified voice for homeschoolers, specifically during the week of School Choice Week, which is if you see in the top line there of the web page there, School Choice Week is the last week in January every year. I think it's the 5th year that they're doing it, and it is on the School Choice Week is a week where a gentleman by the name of Andrew Campanelli, he's the president of School Choice Week. He has created a week of just celebrating multiple education options. And last year, there were, I want to say, I'll go through the stats here, but I want to say 100 million people were exposed to School Choice Week events all across the country, and all kinds of options. So they celebrate any option. So private school, Christian school, public school, charter school, homeschool, any kind of education model, online schools. And so what Robert and some of these other big leaders of some of the homeschool organizations and some of the state homeschool organizations wanted to do is create a unified voice, so that when these 100 million people get a chance to get exposed to different education models, they will get a chance to hear from a unified voice of homeschooling as being an option to educate their children and stuff. So that's kind of the background. It's a great. I love the vision. I love just these leaders that they want to promote homeschooling. Is the bottom line. So anyway, just want to kind of give you some background there on the project itself. So okay, so the site is designed really simple and clean and user friendly. It's got a great user interface here. As you scroll down here, you see there's 3 main buttons here on the bottom of the half of the page here. Attend an event, host an event, and then get involved. We're going to spend most of the time on hosting an event because that's what we're all here on the web conference to learn to do. And then at the very, very bottom of the page, you can like it, on Facebook. You can tweet it. Excuse me. You can sign up to get more information. And then here's some contact information as well. The email, homeschoolnowusa@gmail.com. If you have any specific questions, there's a phone number as well that you can call, ask any specific questions that you may have. And then at the top here, across the top of the page, the website, there are 4 main tabs. With each it's a drop-down menu. So you've got what is homeschooling, how to get started, attend an event, find a local organization. Then under resources, you've got how to host an event, order a host meeting kit, how to get started homeschooling, and then get involved. Under the get involved tab, you've got stay informed, hosting an event, donate, sponsors, and then about, you've got some more background, Homeschool Now USA, School Choice Week, sponsoring organizations, and then contact. So that's kind of the big picture, the site overview. Again, we're going to spend the most time here. I'm just going to go on the 3rd tab, which is Get Involved, drop that menu down and click on Host an Event, and that's where we're going to spend the majority of the time here. Okay, and so again, big picture. I always start out big picture, then kind of get in the weeds. So this particular page, the Host Event page, is kind of got 2 main sections to it. So you've got the main section on the left here, which is kind of the main body of the site. That has different headings here: hosting an event, sign up as a homeschool meeting host, attend a host orientation event, find a location. You guys can see the rest of them there. Secure location, list your event, spread the word locally. And we'll go through each of these here in just a moment. But on the right side, they've got a specific host toolbox, which is awesome because this is like your tools. Your tools that you can use as a host, Homeschool Now USA host, when you do your presentation. So these are all resources, and we're going to go through each of these here in just a moment here. So and then the second half of that toolkit, if you will, is a host meeting kit, where you can get homeschool brochures, some of your state-specific homeschool laws, and then it'll also contain some posters, a sign-in sheet, request forms, and then a host event summary form. And again, we'll cover all those. But that's kind of the big picture of this particular page. And now let's go ahead and get down into the weeds here. So hosting event, I'm just going to go, kind of section by section here. Host event. So the second sentence there, over 100 million people last year heard about various school choice options, but homeschooling was minimally represented. So again, that's why we're doing this. We want to really maximize the homeschooling voice. So number 2 here, sign up as a homeschool meeting host. You receive helpful email updates, and all you got to do for that is just on the last sentence here in that section, simply fill out this form. I want to click on that, and that takes you to this page here where you can sign up. I'm interested in hosting an event, so you put in your email address, first name, last name, sign up, and then we'll get you information on hosting. If you haven't already done that, be sure to do that. Attend a host orientation event. So we encourage you to register. Okay, so and this is the 3rd one, and we're recording this so that for those of you all that know folks, that if your friends, people that are part of your co-ops or communities, that other homeschoolers that would like to host a homeschool information meeting, you'll be able to send them a recording, this audio recording that they'll be able to listen to. That's why I'm kind of being, reading every line. I know you guys can see it, but for the folks on the recording, they won't have that ability to. So then this next one here, get the online meeting training handout. So I'm going to click on that button here, and that takes me to this page, and it's like a 2-page notes, meeting notes for the host, for all of you that are going to host an information meeting on homeschooling. So the goal here, we just lay out some goals. The big picture goal is we're just trying to introduce the homeschooling, because a lot of folks are going to be attending these different homeschooling information meeting events all across the country. Many are probably not going to have any file for homeschooling in their brain, right? I was a public school guy. I had no file for homeschooling whatsoever, and so the goal is just a brief introduction to homeschooling. We're not trying to sell people on homeschooling. We're not trying to close any deals. It is strictly information and awareness. Letting them know that it's a possibility, and then also giving them access to resources as well. So how do you prepare for a meeting? Again, we also have, and I'll show you in the toolbox there, a downloadable general homeschool information presentation, PowerPoint presentation. Practice out loud. Bring some of those resources with you that maybe you all use for homeschooling. Now, we're not selling here. We're not going to be selling any materials. So, please don't bring any information materials to sell. This is just maybe information that you use with your family to homeschool. Feel free to bring those things, those resources, so that those folks that attend can look through and see and read and touch and feel, kind of what you use for your homeschool program. Let's see. Then also you can request free handouts at homeschoolnowusa.com. How do I find a location to host a meeting? So places to contact, churches, activity centers, family-friendly restaurants, bookstores, local businesses, libraries. Some of the restaurants that I've done probably 40 or 50 different information meetings for homeschooling and stuff. And I've done them in Panera Breads. I've done them in bookstores, Barnes & Noble. I've done them in Chick-fil-A's. I've done them in libraries. I've done them all over the place, all across the country. And so the best way to approach a facility manager, whether it's, again, at a church or a restaurant or library, that kind of thing, best case scenario, if you're able to meet the person physically. If not, a phone call. But what I would suggest or recommend, hey, Mr. Jones or Mrs. Jones, understand that you're the general manager of this restaurant, or you are the facility director here at this church. I represent a homeschool, a big homeschool project that we are working on informing the general population, the public, about homeschooling. I would love to be able to use your facility during this time period, from 1 to 2 on Tuesday, or from on Thursday from 3 to 4. It would potentially bring business to your facility as well. Would either of those times work for you, or which one of those times would be good for you? And that's how I would word it there. And we'd recommend doing it during non-peak times, so that, for example, if you do it at a restaurant, you don't necessarily want to do it at noon, right, or dinner time, because that's when that location is going to be slammed already. So you want to try and do it during non-peak times. So let's see, how do you promote your meeting? We've got a number of ideas here. Of course, definitely want to register your event at School Choice Week, so that as news and the word gets out about School Choice Week, folks can, if they say, hey, well, I want to find out about homeschooling, they can go to schoolchoiceweek.com, type in homeschooling, and hopefully find your event registered in their local area. Let's see, social media. So a lot of you all are on social media platforms. You can promote your specific events on your social media platforms, different emails, all your social networks, that you're a part of, your church, maybe folks that you work out with, that kind of thing, maybe in your cell group and stuff, just putting the word out that way. Flyers, Homeschool Now USA has also got some really neat flyers that you can use to fill out your specific events information on there, and put those flyers out in all kinds of different locations: restaurants, coffee shops, churches, libraries, post offices, community centers, doctors' offices, bookstores, dry cleaners, laundromats, all over the place, wherever you can, to get the word out. MOPS groups are great locations as well. Great audiences that are looking, searching for education options for their children and stuff. So that's a great organization to reach out. And I know a lot of homeschoolers have a lot of great relationships with some of the super MOPS groups across the country. And then local media. Let local media know. And of course, they're already familiar with School Choice Week, so we're just saying, hey, as part of School Choice Week, we're representing kind of the homeschooling option for folks that want to get more information about homeschooling. The goal is to not last any more than an hour. A quick intro, just a brief intro. Hey, my name is Noble. And then you kind of tell your story, and I'm going to get more into those details here in just a moment. The overview of what's going on. The actual presentation, again, you don't want to be more than 30 to 40 minutes, because you'd like to have about, again, another 30 to 40 minutes of Q&A time, question and answer time. So it says 15 minutes here, plus or minus, but 15 to 30 minutes, somewhere in there. And then, again, you got more details there at the toolbox there, which I'll go through here in just a moment. Resources, optional sign-in sheet, the request forms, handouts, School Choice Week kit. They also have a marketing kit as well. So I know we're getting close here. Let's see, we're 10 days out, so a week and a half before School Choice Week kicks off, which is the 25th. So there's still time now to order a School Choice Week marketing kit. And so I'll go through some more kind of how you can use that kit as well. And then again, any information resources that you want to bring with you, feel free to do that as well. Okay, so that's the online meeting training handout. In terms of finding it, now I'm back on the website here on that page, the host event page. So under find a location, we kind of already hit those in the handout there. So I'm not going to go through it here. But again, restaurants, libraries, churches, local businesses, and think about your existing friends, your existing communities or co-ops that you're a part of. Do any of your friends at any of your circles have any connections with any spots where you could possibly host a homeschool information meeting? So that'd be also a great spot to start as well. And then securing the location, we kind of already discussed that as well. Kind of gives a little bit of a script there that you can possibly use. And again, recommend definitely not during the peak times again. List your event with School Choice Week. So here, all we're going to do in this section is you can click on this. So add your event to School Choice Week. That takes you to the schoolchoiceweek.com website. Under the post section, post your event. So now we're at that website, and now you just scroll down. You select the event name. Right, what type of event is it? Again, depending on where your location is and stuff is also going to help determine that. Your event theme, if you've got a theme there, homeschooling would be the theme. And then your contact information, so they have your contact information. And then the event details, you come through and do your event details, venue name, and then the specific information about the location, the times, that kind of thing. And then if you want to choose to post a picture of that particular location too, just so that when they're looking for it, they can kind of see what they're trying to find. Okay, now I'm back on the Homeschool Now USA website, so spread the word locally. Some more marketing tips here, flyer blitzes. The other thing too is you can have your friends again get involved in this as well. So you I call it like an informal marketing team that you can help put together with your friends and maybe some of your kids that maybe want to help out as well, help put the word out in their social networks with flyers, that kind of thing. So, and we've already listed, again, we've already discussed these other things here: churches, MOPS groups, community groups, homeschool groups, social media, local media are all great spots to promote your specific event. And the other thing too, I do marketing training a lot, and one of the marketing statistics is that people typically need to see information 6 times within a 1 to 2 month time period before they'll act on it. So feel free, again, because we're close to a couple weeks out from the event, from that week and your particular event, feel free to promote your event multiple times on your social media platforms. Maybe every other day or every few days you promote it leading up to that event, so they can, your circles can kind of see, oh yeah, that's right, let me put that on my calendar. So it may take a few times for them to be able to before they'll act on that information. Okay, now I'm going to go down the host toolbox, and there's a lot of great information here as well. So I've clicked on the timeline, important dates to help you map out your successful event strategy. So we're already actually looking at this PDF here, we're already on step number 4, but let me just go back and start at 1, 2, so I can at least cover the first 3 steps here. So number 1, you want to familiarize yourself with the Homeschool Now USA website, because you can see here they got a lot of great resources. Make sure you schedule your location, you book your location. Number 2, which is just register for an orientation, which is what we're on right now. Number 3, we're going to be putting out different radio public service announcements, PSAs, public service announcements, across the country. So you want to definitely make sure that your event is registered again with School Choice Week, so that as folks hear about School Choice Week, they'll be able to find your local event there. You want to be able to order your host meeting kit. And number 4 there, download your meeting agenda, download your notes, the presentation. You can kind of rehearse it. Also, you want to start promoting here, soon. In the next couple of days, I'd recommend starting that promotion process. Number 5 there, again, download that PowerPoint, and we're going to be uploading, recording here again for people that you may know that want to also host an information meeting. Number 6, and also during number 5 here, between now and the actual school choice week, we also recommend, we didn't put it on here, but is get familiar with, you don't have to become a subject matter expert, but at least be familiar with some of your state homeschooling laws, because I'm sure those are going to be some of the questions that you will be asked. And again, not that you've got to memorize them. Some of you already may have, because a lot of you guys have been homeschooling for much longer than we have been. But at least know where to find them, so that they're able to, maybe even if you have the resources, you can even maybe bring your laptop, or again, if you have the resources to pull up some of your state laws right there, while the group is there. Or again, at least at a minimum, know the website so that you can refer that website to the folks that show up to your meeting there. So number 6, take photos and post them on social media. Set out the sign-in sheet there and distribute the optional follow-up information forms as well. And number 7, post your photos on social media. And what we recommend there is tagging your photos with Homeschool Now USA, and also School Choice Week, SCW. That's their hashtag SCW. So that anybody that types in SCW or Homeschool Now USA, they'll be able to see, oh, check this out. Check out all these neat homeschooling pictures, and that they can realize it's part of something bigger than maybe what they are aware of. And then number 7, underneath the other second bullet on number 7 there is fill out and return the optional meeting survey. And again, it's optional, but what that would do is that helps give us, as Homeschool Now USA, an opportunity to continue to improve on the processes and systems and practices, so that we can do even better job and reach more people next year. So that is the timeline. The host orientation event is this page here, so I clicked on that. That brings us right here to this spot. The printable poster and flyer, I'm going to click on that on the host toolbox. It takes me to this page. I'm just going to click on the JPEG. You can do the PDF, either way. But if you can see here, it's a really neat picture. Just a fun picture. It's fun and colorful. You don't have to use color. You can you print out black and white. You can make your own flyers, make your own PDFs. By no means do you have to use this. It's just, again, a resource for you. But you can put in your own details here, your own contact information, what, when, where, and contact. So that's another really neat resource that they have available as well. So now I'm going back to the host toolbox. You can click on the option, the PowerPoint presentation. Now, again, we're going to be covering that here in just a moment. But you can download that and use that as kind of a guide or framework there. The meeting agenda. So I'm going to click on meeting agenda. Again, this is just a suggestion, just some points here to think about. Put out the sign-in sheet so folks, when they come in, they can sign in. Again, do a quick introduction, and then you've got 20, 30 minutes of the presentation, and then leave some good time for Q&A there as well. And I'll cover some of the some good icebreakers as well that I like to use when I do these information meetings. And then thank them when they're done. Just obviously thank them for coming, and provide some of those handouts and resources for them so that they have something that they can take away with when they go home to do further research and do further due diligence. Okay, so that's the meeting agenda. Okay, I'm continuing down here in the host meeting kit. Order these free printed materials here. So now I'm clicking on how to get a host meeting kit. It takes you to this page here, and you select how many homeschool brochures you would like based on how many you think are going to show up to your presentation. Also, you can select how many state law brochures you want based on your specific state that you're in, to be able to hand to folks. It's another great resource. And then how many posters, additional posters that you'd like to get as well. And then you just enter in your contact information, and they'll ship out that information to you all. So that's how to order the host meeting kit. And in there, again, is going to be your homeschool brochures, your state homeschool requirements. Okay, then it will also contain 3 full-color posters, a sign-in sheet. So let me just take you to the sign-in sheet. And you see here it's very simple. It's just basic name, email, phone, address, so that you can, again, be able to contact or follow up with those people if they have more questions once they leave. Then the follow-up request form. This is something that you just, once you print this sheet out, then you just cut these up. Well, I guess you don't even have to cut them up. That you can just pass it around, and folks can just put in their section their information. But please send me more information about homeschooling. I am specifically interested in, and they've got different options there: preschool, elementary, high school, special needs, curriculum, how to get started, co-ops, classical ed, or other, with their name and email, so that you can follow up with those folks and provide them with the specific information that they're looking for. So that's the follow-up request form. And then the host event summary form is just the meeting evaluation form. So it goes through and it just kind of discusses, or asks you as the host, okay, how many folks showed up? How did you feel it went? Good parts, rough parts. Would you do something differently next time? So we're trying to capture some of the best practices, and again learn so that we can do better next year. Do you think you do anything unique that you'd like to share with other hosts? What can Homeschool Now USA do to help you and other hosts improve for next year? Helpfulness of the online resources, the planning timeline, the webinar training sessions, and the meeting agenda, and then the other resources. Helpfulness of the marketing kit. Was the website helpful? Any other resources you would like to have? Do you feel we provided you with adequate support? Are you interested in hosting another meeting? And then any final comments that you have. So a lot of great questions there for us as a Homeschool Now USA organization to be able to improve for next year. Okay, so that's the Homeschool Now USA main, the host event orientation along with the host toolbox. And now let me go through the actual presentation itself. So let me just pull that up. All right, so I'm just going to go through, download the presentation. Okay. Now, let me just do a couple admin notes regarding this presentation. So, number one, it is totally optional. Number two, it is just suggestions. We've gotten some feedback from some of the previous trainings. I don't like those 5 reasons, and I would do different. You can change this however you want to. This is just a guide. If you don't like these reasons, these bullet points, you can change it however you want to. This is just a guide, and you'll see here. There's when you download it, there are presenter notes for the presentation that when you print out. Obviously, you don't have to print those out. But it's a guideline for you to use or not to use. Again, this is totally just an optional tool here. The other thing is that, again, some of you all may not have the technology based on where you're doing your information meeting at to have a projector or something like that. And so you just print out. You can just print out some copies here, and I've got the what we would recommend in terms of what slides to print out, and it's really just 6 slides that you would print out, and it would just be and I'll let you know as I go through this here, but slide 1, 6, 9, 14, 19, and 23. Again, that's 1, 6, 9, 14, 19, and 23. And again, I'll go through and highlight those as we go through this presentation. Okay. So this first slide here, so this would be one of the slides to print out, and you see why here, because you put in your name and then your contact information with the website. So that way, when with the handouts that you leave with them, they'll be able to ask you more questions. Also, when you print this out, you don't feel like you've got to print out 6 pages for every person that shows up. PowerPoint, I'm sure for the Mac people, if you use Keynote, I'm sure there's ways where you can, I know in PowerPoint there is, where you can print out 2 or 3 slides on one page. So really, if you did 3 slides per page, you'd only have to print out two pages for each handout for each person to be able to take home with them. So, and then you could print out the whole slide deck for yourself as a reference if you wanted to. Okay, so that's the first part there. Okay, now in terms of introducing yourself, I like to always start with icebreakers. I like to add, okay, great, it's great to see you all here today. Thank you for coming. I'd just like to kind of go around and kind of get a feel with who we have here today. Could you all, let's just go around the room, and I'll start with me. Just say your name and how many kids you have, and maybe how old your kids are, just to kind of have an idea with who we're here. So, hey, my name is Noble. We've got one little girl who's 7, and she's in 2nd grade. And so then you just go around the room, and then so that's going to help kind of loosen the crowd up a little bit. And then I like to also ask, hey, let's go around. The next question I have for everybody is, let's go around the room and just briefly share why you're interested in homeschooling. What was it that caused you to even consider it? And then again, I always like to start with me. The reason we are, kind of started our homeschool journey, and then I'll share our story. So again, brief, but that kind of helps to kind of get the crowd connected, and also to bring the walls down, maybe that kind of thing. Because a lot of folks, when people share their why they're looking into homeschooling, a lot of other people are going to connect and relate with that. So again, it's going to create some great group dynamics there. Okay, then I'm going to jump. Okay, great, that's awesome. It sounds like a lot of us have a lot of things in common there in terms of why we decided to pursue or why we're looking into homeschooling. Let's go ahead and jump into the presentation. So bam, now I'm going to start. So the top 5 fun reasons to homeschool now. Again, we wanted to just start off something light, something fun, so that we're not starting off too hot and heavy. We just do something fun here. Again, but you can change this up however you want to. So number 1, days off are scheduled by you, right? So as homeschoolers, you got a lot of flexibility there. Number 2, kids can wear pajamas all day. Again, these are fun, they're light, and then you can bring in your own personal stories, your own personal testimonies of each of these points. Number 3, recess can last for 2 hours on a nice summer day. Again, just fun. The other thing too, there are studies. There are, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of TED Talks, but those are talks where like professors and all these PhD folks discuss certain topics. There's all kinds of research out there on the time that children spend outside and how active they are, and how beneficial that is to their psyche, to their learning, to their productivity. All kinds of benefits there. So, and again, as homeschoolers, we're able to control that, which is great. Playing with Legos, right? So the point there is, you can learn by playing. Just playing, you can learn a lot of great stuff just by playing. Go to Disney World when the lines are only minutes long. So again, you can schedule your own travel time and field trips, and do lots of scheduling and stuff that is not when the rest of your town or city or the country is going to a particular location to vacation or spend time. Okay, so that's let's see, so that's slide 6. So that would be one of the slides to print out there. Next section here, top 3 questions people ask about homeschooling now. Is it legal? Am I qualified? Right, a lot of homeschool families, ask that question. Am I qualified? What about socialization? That's probably the number one that I hear. We've been homeschooling for 3 years, and that's the one I hear probably the most. What about socialization? So again, these are questions that I'm sure some of those folks are going to want to know. So number 5, top 5 reasons why you can homeschool now. Homeschooling is legal in every state, and we've got, again, in the meeting notes here. There's the speaker notes. There's some notes down here that you can include into your presentation. Number 2, there's lots of great curriculum written specifically for homeschooling students, and a lot of times it's written by homeschooling families. So these are people that know what we're going through as homeschooling families. A lot of you all that have gone before, some of us newbies have provided some great curriculum and stuff. So, and then there's some great statistics here that the Homeschool Now USA folks put in here. According to the National Home Education Research Institute, or NERI, at NHERI.org, Studies on homeschooling families found that home-educated students typically score 15 to 30 percentile points above public school students on standardized academic achievement tests. It covers some more points there. So again, some neat bullets in there, some statistics that you could throw in there. Cutting-edge technology makes homeschooling easier and learning more accessible than ever before. So there's all kinds of great online resources that you can use and have access to as homeschoolers. So let them know about that. That's another slide that you can print out as well. So that would be slide 14. No, I'm sorry, not yet. Not that slide. We'll get to slide 14 here in a second. This is slide 13 here. Support network. So letting them know just that there are just awesome homeschool support networks. The state, each state has got the state homeschool organization, their state board, homeschool board, that are just, they're, all the ones I've met, a lot of them at some of these different homeschool conferences, and they're great people. They're homeschoolers too, so and a lot of them are volunteering their time and effort and energy to help out. It's just a lot of great organizations, these state boards as well, homeschool boards. And then obviously your local support networks as well, let them know about. And then the other thing too, just point out that your kids the best. The parent knows their kids better than anyone else is going to know them. So just that's another good point. So that's the other slide that you can print out there. Slide 14 there. Number 15 here. Slide 15, top 5 reasons why you should homeschool now. So you can design an educational plan. So based on your student. Each student is different. Each student may learn differently. So you can, that's the neat thing about homeschooling, obviously, is that you can tailor your students' learning. Your students can master a specific subject or area of interest that they may have. A little neat point here, a 17-year-old homeschool student became the youngest certified CPA in the history of the U.S. And I Googled that, and sure enough, she'd been homeschooled, and she wanted to spend, she spent a lot of extra time based on her interest and passion with numbers and math in accounting, and did internships with accountants and stuff. Just really neat story. But that's another benefit of homeschooling, being able to spend extra time on your areas of interest there. Again, your students can spend all kinds of time outdoors, which is, again, benefits a lot of aspects of our kids. And again, some more bullets there that are also helpful that you can use. Number 4, you can more effectively pass on your family values, morals, and religious beliefs to your children. There's no question about that. Again, coming from a public school standpoint, I spent thousands and thousands of hours from kindergarten through college with people that didn't share my values and beliefs. And obviously all of us are going to hit society at some point. But for us, I wanted to be able to spend as much time with our daughter before she gets hit by society, and to help instill those values and beliefs and morals and stuff that we espouse in our particular family. So that it's important. Number 5 here, your family and home are the most loving, caring, safe, positive social environments, which, again, a lot of studies, but your environment, a children's environment is crucial and critical in their ability to learn. Again, I know some of my public school experience, there was a lot of stress involved, and I don't mean academic stress, a lot of external stress because of my environment that I was in. So that can affect a student's ability to learn. So, sharing your stories and stuff, but that'd be another slide that you can print out there. That's slide 19. So what's next? So now you got some action steps here. Contact your state organization. So it'd be good to, put your state organization's website on there as well, so they'll know. Contact any local support groups. So now you can put some of maybe your local communities or co-ops that you're involved with, their websites or Facebook pages and stuff. Attending workshops at conventions, letting them know about the state conventions and other local conventions and conferences that you may have. Doing research online or book fairs, and letting them know that, again, that there's a huge network of support for homeschooling families. And let's see, and that slide 23 here, you want to include all those specific, contact information or websites or Facebook pages or whatever resources you use, let them know so that they have something to sink their teeth in, and again, to do some more research once you're done with the presentation. And then the last thing here, go forward in confidence. Encourage them. If there's ever time to homeschool, it's now. And so at this point, now you can hand out those resources, or let them see. You can kind of take a break, and again, let them, whoever wants to ask questions, ask questions. Whoever wants to stay and look through materials, they can look through materials. But the other thing too is, when you open it up for Q&A, for question and answer time, make sure that someone doesn't dominate necessarily the conversation. Make sure you're able to get through everybody's questions and while they're there, and then say, hey, look, for any more questions that I'm not able to go into too much depth over, let's talk, sometime this week or next week, next couple of weeks, and we can. I'd be more than happy to answer any further questions. But that way, everyone gets a chance to be able to feel like their questions were heard and answered as best as possible. So I blew through that very, very quickly. Again, I just want to say, you can tweak these slides however you want to. You can change the bullets. You can add new bullets, whatever you want to do. This is just a guideline for the presentation that you can use as a reference and a guideline there. So, and again, I'd recommend having some handouts, for the people that show up, so that they have something that they can take away once they're done with your specific presentation there. Okay, so now let's see where we're at. Okay, super. So, all right. So that concludes. I'm going to jump on the Q&A here, but that concludes the orientation of the Homeschool Now USA website and of the Homeschool Now USA information meeting presentation. I'm going to hit